What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kingdom Rivals. So, it's been a really long time since I recorded a video. About like a month and a half, or 2 months, in fact. So for those of you that don't know, I was working this summer as a summer intern at a gold mine, and that's where I recorded most of my videos and uploaded most of my videos from. It was a little town in Nevada. So that was coming to an end at the beginning of August and the end of July, which is why I wasn't really recording or uploading during that time. And then once that ended, I had to come back to school. So I'm a grad student studying at the U of A, and that has taken up a lot of my time these last few weeks, getting back into school and getting meetings scheduled, getting experiments started, and all that fun stuff. But that did not stop me from playing Minecraft occasionally. So I have a bunch of updates in this video, and this video is pretty much just going to be an update video and planning for some future things that the thumbnail has possibly made you curious about, and the title of this video has possibly made you curious about. So we'll be going through all of that stuff, because I have made a lot of updates to my base, the castle, which you see on the map behind me. We've done a bunch of stuff as a server, which I will update you about collectively. So that will be really exciting to get into that stuff, as well as, of course, the secret plans that I mentioned, which will take a while to make, but I'll give you a little bit of info about that stuff towards the end of the video. So the first thing that I want to cover, since we're already here, is the castle updates. So, which this, actually, we can update this map right now. So you'll notice that a whole new boat is appearing, which is the main update to the dock area. Is this whole section got expanded by another kind of boat width plus the dock over here on this side, because this area got expanded. So if you don't remember what it looked like, this kind of curved around here because the coastline kind of came up here and it was kind of skinny over here. So instead of looking at it on a map, let's go ahead and look at it in person. So the main driver of this change was finding a good spot for the horses. So originally the horses were over on the other side of the castle, or they were in here. So this area actually is going to become the area for all of my dogs, and probably some other pets. So I've kind of worked on this, which I had a whole idea, and then it just kind of looked really bad. So I tore everything down and kind of did some other stuff. So right now I've just kind of got an area that's kind of like a bed area with some tennis balls and some bones for all the doggies. So the horses were originally in there, in that section, and that back wall didn't really exist as a solid wall. It just kind of existed as the entrances to the stables. Then I had plans to move the horses over here, and I had kind of made this wall and hollowed it out so that I could have the stables inside the wall to give it some more space. But that was really far away from everything else, and one of the things that I wanted to do was to build some more houses as part of the little village out here once we start working on this beyond just buildings. So I moved all the horses again and expanded this wall a little bit because it kind of had an angle that would come in and go out, and so I expanded it so that it was all in line with this section, so that the houses can kind of fit there in the same space, kind of relative to each other. So this section is basically just ready for some more of the houses to go in. So I think we can fit probably 4 more in that section over there, which will make our village a little bit bigger. So the final place where the horses have moved is in this area. because I wasn't really super happy with how irregular this wall was shaped, especially on this side. It was like kind of weird and curvy as it came up through here. So I really wanted to change that, and then that kind of allowed for the building of the stables over here. So all the horses are in this area, including my one donkey. So I have all the stables because I remade the coastline and sort of terraformed that so this would all fit here. And so now all of the animals are over in this area. So the plans for this section, I moved our hay storage over there so that it wasn't kind of blocking this road. So the plans, which I'd love to hear your guys' opinions about, either put them in the comments below, or I have a link to the Dragon's Keep Discord channel in the description box below. So if you're not a part of that, feel free to join that. Sometimes I post screenshots or teasers for upcoming episodes. Or it's a great place for me to tell you your guys' thoughts and opinions on what is happening over at Dragon's Keep. So the main question that I have for what is going to happen in this area is, do we keep this road as is with this planter? And in this empty space, I'm thinking of making a big tree, kind of in a circular planter, so we can build the tree and have it going up here and keep this road the same, possibly expanding the road to encompass the new area. Or we change the road and put this planter with the big tree in the center of it. So have it kind of coming around here and then have a round circular road that goes all around the section. So give me your thoughts on that. And if I like them, then I'll do them. If I don't like them, then I might just go against what your guys' suggestions are. But we'll see. So basically, leave the road as is and build a tree here, or change the road and incorporate the tree kind of into the road design. The other thing that has changed, which was also kind of a goal of changing the shape of the coastline, was to build another boat. And I need to sleep here in a sec. So one of the things that I have wanted to do for a while was to have more of a royal sailing vessel, if you will, that's kind of like a diplomatic boat that can kind of go to the other kingdoms and is transporting either diplomats or like myself to those other kingdoms. So I really wanted to build another boat, but the dock setup that I had at the time only allowed for these two boats, and I wanted to have several kind of merchant or transport vessels. So I expanded the dock to have another boat, and you can see the hull of it is kind of coming together. I needed to grow some more dark oak, so it was kind of put on pause. So we're going to have another boat here. The sails are going to be a different style because it is a different style of boat. So in the next episode, that should be completed. Or we'll be finishing it during the next episode. I believe that that's basically all the updates for the castle so far. So we've kind of had three main sections that have gotten changed. This one here, the docks, as well as this section over here, to just kind of expand our castle and our kind of castle town situation that we have going on. The one downside of doing the coast expansion is that part of this, like over here, is technically in the ocean biome, whereas the rest of it is in the snowy beach or like frozen tundra. So we do have two different colors of grass, but it is kind of subtle, and I think with building up stuff, it'll be not as noticeable. So that's basically it for the updates of the castle. The next updates are kind of near spawn, or at least we get to them from spawn. So a while ago, there was this mysterious board with a bunch of barrels and signs for improvements on the realm that we could make kind of collectively. And one of the suggestions was a PvP arena, which we've previously just done PvP down in Desert Scorpion's maze, all below the island, which was fun, but he hasn't really updated the maze or anything. We have a wandering trader over here, so let's see what he has to offer. A little smoker. Ace the Mace would like that. But yeah, so we wanted to build a central PvP arena, which you might have noticed that the farming tower is gone from here. A lot of the things kind of got broken with it, and as you can see, we still have a lot of resources. That was our overflow system. So we kind of got rid of that because we weren't really using it, because our iron farm is our primary source of tradables for the villagers. So we kind of got rid of the farming tower because it was one of the things we had built initially, and we didn't really need it anymore. So we just kind of tore it down to make some space. But back to the PvP arena. We wanted to collectively do a PvP arena, and on the island we have some spaces where we could have done it, but our friend Regal Duck is working on a little fishing village to move some of our villagers over into. And we have some other random things kind of streamed about over here. We have a little tennis court and pool, as well as some of our farms. So there wasn't a ton of space to build like a really big PvP arena on land. So we kind of thought of the idea of what if we make a PvP arena that is on the ocean. And so we got a really awesome idea to make a really big boat. So this is our PvP arena, which the structure of it is all complete. It just needs some of its final touches. So, like, the interior decorating hasn't really been completed at all, but the structure is done. And the other thing that it needs is kind of the cannons. So it has a ton of little rooms and little spaces that I think are going to be really great for PvP. As well as some interesting things of, like, you can kind of climb on the sails and try to run away that way, or go up to the crow's nest, which is really, really, really tall. But maybe we'll have something cool up here. You can actually, like, make it up to the crow's nest. So this is our PvP arena. We just need the cannons. We need to do some interior decorating, which will kind of have a similar feel to the design of my boats that I've filled in so far, but it'll be a little bit less about aesthetics and more about kind of tactical or defensive methods. So there'll probably be barrels and things stacked up on the lower decks, but they won't just be stacked in like one big pile. There'll probably be smaller piles around, so that you can kind of dodge and dip in between the different spaces. Interesting. I'm gonna take a few of those. Oh, are these different? Oh goodness, these are actually explosive rockets. Okay, maybe I won't take those because they will hurt me. Those are probably for our cannons. But yeah, so this is our PvP arena. This was one of the group builds that we made. It turned out super cool. It's basically just a big pirate ship. We have named it, which I don't know if I can actually, maybe with my telescope here. Oh, it doesn't show you what the sign says. That's a bummer. Here, we'll try to get a little bit closer. Maybe if this scaffolding will work. Will it render in now? No. So basically, the ship, as we were building it, we made a mistake and basically kind of expanded the boat or expanded it out like one step too far on each side. And so it ended up being really, really wide, which it's still quite wide. But because of this original error, we decided to dub the boat the SS, or the PS, because it's a pirate ship, Thick Boy. And of course, it is spelled with 7 C's, because it is a boat. If you get that joke, say potato chip in the comments down below. If you don't, then just put it in the comments down below, and maybe you can like feel included, or somebody will let you in on the joke. Join the Discord and we'll let you in on the joke. That'll be the plug for the Discord. Link in the description below. But we've also worked on another group build, which we access it through the super cool nether portal that Regal Duck built, kind of like a sword in the stone reference. And we officially called it Capital because that is the location of all of the builds, which one of Desert Scorpion's chickens wandered through our portal, so he's just kind of here now. This is a giant farm from Regal Duck. It's his pork farm. We don't really ask many questions when it comes to things that he builds, because usually they just kind of pop up overnight and they're really, really extreme. So we just kind of trust that he knows what he's doing. But yeah, and if you're wondering, yes, we are on the roof of the Nether. It's the easiest way to get around, and this build is particularly far away. So Capital is a community build that is on a really, really cool Shattered Savannah biome that we had plans for a while to all build on it together. So this is Capital, which let me kind of try to get it all rendered in, because it's really, really big, and maybe I can view it from one of these trees down here. Oh, the back of it doesn't want to load in. But this is Capital. As you can see, it's really, really massive, and it is a really, really cool Shattered Savannah world generation. So I discovered this one day when I was just flying around exploring, and I was like, this is probably the coolest world generation that I've seen in Minecraft so far. So I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to the guys and was like, hey, we need to do something with this. And we were going to wait until after the 1.18 update, but I actually use a really cool program called MCA Selector that allows you to load in like a world file and delete chunks individually. So we can kind of delete everything around this, but keep this unchanged. And so what we had decided to do with it was build separately, but use the same block palette. So we came up with a list of rules basically for Capital that outlined like the block palette that you could use and banner rules and all that stuff. And so then everybody kind of picked a spot. So you can probably recognize the architecture style of Dragon's Keep. So this is where I have my stuff set up here on this ridge. So I have my plan for it is I have this one main building, but then I also want to build a tower in the corner here and have a bridge that kind of connects these two over this little water feature that I made. This waterfall was natural, and then I added these 2 other waterfalls to kind of warrant building a bridge to another tower. Then we have Regal Duck's building, which, yes, if this is reminiscent of the Empire State Building, that's because it basically is the Empire State Building. I believe the story, if I'm remembering correctly, was that he wasn't sure what to build, but he wanted to build something big. And I was like, well, why don't you make the Empire State Building? And he did. In basically like 72 hours. He dug out everything and erected the Empire State Building. This is why I mentioned that we just like generally don't ask questions about what he's doing, because things happen very quickly and usually overnight. This area up here is Ace the Mace 72's area. This is his banner. He made this cool little kind of overlook building where you can see some of the savannah and some of the other builds. And he's also built this, or is still working on this house, which is pretty cool. He also gets the benefit of borrowing Regal Dust's beacon because they're neighbors. This spot up here, which does in fact include these 8 floating blocks, is Desert Scorpion's base. So he's kind of got a little impractical method of getting up there, but he's never shied away from a challenge before, or refused to create a challenge. But he's got a pretty cool little thing going on up here all the way at the top. You can see the top of the Empire State Building, which, yes, those are in fact diamond blocks. We have invited, and they've selected a spot. Cybersword HD selected a spot. He's kind of back here on the backside. He's carving into the mountain and gonna do some stuff with this kind of overhang section, probably here. I don't think Sparks has been over to this area yet. But this is basically an area where you just kind of get the capital guidelines, and then you can pick where you want to build and join us out over here at Capital. This is our main community build. Is that? Yep, that's a zombie all the way up there. But yeah, so a lot of cool things have happened in the time since I posted my last video as a group on the server, and not just kind of me just building stuff. So that's been really fun, getting to work on that stuff with these guys. And then of course we have our portal that's going to take us back. But instead of going back to Dragon's Keep, there is one last thing that's happened on the server that I want to show you guys before I reveal a little bit of my secret plans and end the video off. So Ace the Mace 72, or just Ace as we'll refer to him, really likes resource gathering and kind of grinding, like mining and all that stuff in Minecraft, and so he figured that he could monetize that, which we all agreed. So he's actually working on setting up a store of sorts, but he wanted a sorting system for that store, and he's pretty good with redstone, but he hasn't really done any sorting system stuff, so he asked me if I could build a sorting system, and so in exchange for a lot of stone, and apparently a spider falling down, I would make the sorting system for him. So this is where it's located. Oh, there's a spider. Need to get some torches here so that things don't blow up. So in exchange for a lot of stone, I would make a sorting system for him. So this is the face of it. It appears that he missed the item frame on that one. So there's shulker box unloading systems and kind of manual loading systems, and up to 28 different items can be placed in this sorting system. That's how many modules there are. And then basically in the output, you'll just kind of like pick up a shulker box and then fill it with the items that you want to, and then we'll have some sort of payment area, but that doesn't have to be automated. So this is all the redstone, which this is just a bunch of the modular single item sorting systems that are really, really simple to build. That's kind of like the classic redstone line of like, I know it looks complicated, but I promise you it's not that difficult. Basically, it's just your hopper filled with the items that you want it to sort, another hopper just below that with a redstone torch below that, and then that top hopper feeds into a comparator, which feeds into some redstone dust, and then that feeds into a repeater, and then basically it just turns the redstone torch on and off, which lets this hopper feed its items into this chest, which feeds into the rest of the chests. And so then you can get it to where you're only putting one type of item in the chest. So it's a fairly simple system. So I was able to throw that together, and then this is kind of where it looks a lot more complicated, and it's maybe slightly more complicated because it's not nearly as modular. But this is the input system with the shulker box unloading system that has the you place the shulker box against the piston that unloads into the hopper. The comparator basically reads once everything is empty. This one is unloading right now, so it's in the unload state. So once that shulker box that's on the other side of the wall is emptied, it'll trigger this piston, which will lower the observer, and it will power that repeater, which will then in turn power the piston, which will break the shulker box, and the shulker box will just fly through the system and go into the output chest because it's not going to sort into any of the sorting systems. And then this is where everything is feeding into, which we might need to adjust this if it's not going to actually empty out the entire shulker box, because it looks like this hopper is being powered by this as well, or this hopper rather is being powered by that as well. So I might need to adjust some of those things. I never built a specific input system like this. We're just kind of working with the space that we have. But basically, what I'll probably do to fix this is just lower these hoppers by a few blocks, and kind of line everything with glass around it so they don't get powered, and then just lower this by a couple blocks. This is the dropper fader that takes the items and puts them up into the hopper up there so that they can go throughout the whole system. But yeah, so overall, it's not a super complicated system. It looks like a lot of redstone. It's a lot of hoppers, which is why we have an iron farm. But it's a pretty cool system. It's going to be really handy because we can just come by and get things like stone or deep slate, or any of like the rock materials. So far it looks like he's loaded up stone, cobbled deep slate, dirt, calcite, and then basalt. So it's pretty cool. So that'll be exciting once it gets filled with things. We're working on getting prices worked out for everything right now. But that's basically all of the updates that I have for you guys in the time that I've been gone. Quite a bit has happened. And I know I posted the video of creating the dragon. I haven't forgotten about that, but I'm working on getting it kind of designed of what it's going to look like on the realm, because I want to do that in creative before I try to articulate it in survival, because that'll take much longer. But now I'm going to reveal some of the plans that I have. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I was an intern at a gold mine this summer, and I worked in their processing area, which basically means that you get a bunch of piles of dirt that have gold in it, and then you put it through a bunch of different stuff, and then at the end, you get to pour out a gold bar. So it's a pretty cool process, and I can elaborate on that if you want to, but there's a lot of science and there's a lot of chemistry and stuff that doesn't really make sense to most people. It mostly makes sense to me, but even some of it doesn't necessarily make all of the sense. But I had a really cool idea to kind of make a Minecraft world / series about that would make it a little bit easier to understand. So I've been working on that behind the scenes of doing a lot of the world designing, and there's going to be story to everything and custom Minecraft skins and all that stuff. So there's a bunch of work that's going on behind the scenes. It's in the process of happening. I don't know exactly how long it's going to take for that to get into really any like reasonable stages. Another reason to join the Discord is I'll probably be posting updates on that about what's going on in terms of the builds and the skins and maybe script stuff. But it should be really cool. It will probably be a ton of fun to actually like produce. But I'm really excited for it. I know that there are others that are excited for it. So that's something that I'll be working on kind of in the background. I don't know when it'll actually get a video on it. Maybe we'll do like some live streams, possibly doing some of the building for it, of some of the kingdoms and things. But yeah, at this point, this video is probably quite long for an update video, but there's been a ton of stuff that's happened while I was away, so I wanted to give you guys just a little brief update about everything that's happened so far, and some future plans. So I think that basically brings us to the end of today's video. So if you are not subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like. If you just want to say hi, don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to join the Discord and join the conversation, ask questions, see pictures, give ideas, etc. about Dragon's Keep and Kingdom Rivals in general, primarily Dragon's Keep. So yeah, with that, I think that's everything. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!